All right. I am so excited for tonight. It's all about the fun. It's Friday night. And here at 9atNight.com, we are here every weekday night from Monday through Friday, a different topic every night. And so at the end of the week, we want some relaxation, right? Well, what better way than from your couch, your chair, your dinner table, whatever, to learn all about around the world with our great friends. So right now we're going to get started. I have a great, oh my gosh, she's just absolutely amazing with our travel agency. And we're going to be talking about Ireland, but we have a interview or an introduction just for her. So here we go. We have Erin here. I want to say a little bit about her before we bring her on. I'll tell you, I'm so excited to introduce her. She's definitely in the mix when it comes to all around the world travel. She's definitely on fire when it comes to life travel. And I'll tell you, I couldn't say it better than her. I'm going to read some of her own words. She goes, as a former airline brat, I caught the travel bug early, but the real epiphany of travel and what it can do for your soul hit me when I took one of those, if it's Tuesday, it must be Belgium trips to Northern Europe in high school. And I didn't want to come home. And I've been a traveler ever since, not a tourist. It's been the world traveler. So she's passionate about understanding a place from its food to the people to the culture. We're going to hear a lot tonight, and it's exciting. And she's here to help others experience the new places or the same place in a new way, and encourages everyone to check off those bucket lists. So let's go ahead and welcome our good friend, Erin Richards from Huckleberry Travel. There you are. Hey, it's so good to see you. I got to get my video. You know, watching that pre-video introducing you and stuff, I'm packed. My bags are packed. I'm coming with you, Erin, wherever you're going. I want to be there.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Let's talk about this week and where we're headed for. I'm excited.
Well, I mean, we've got St. Patrick's Day coming up next Tuesday. Next Thursday. Oh, I'm all off.
Yeah, you're with that. So same way. We'll just have fun tonight, okay?
So I thought it'd be fun to talk about Ireland. It's always a very popular destination, especially among Americans. And I love Ireland. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little bit Irish. So
like the red hair, that's a dead giveaway. You know,
the name, the hair, I'm a little bit Irish. So yeah, I thought we'd talk tonight about Ireland, which a lot of people, Ireland actually was one of the first countries to open back up to tourism in the summer. And they've since dropped almost like all their restrictions and stuff. So, you know, if you are ready to go back to Ireland and the UK, then let's go. And it's easy to go because they speak English. I mean, sometimes it doesn't sound like it, but they do speak English.
So seriously, what about the dollar bill or whatever monetary system they use? Currency?
So the Republic of Ireland, which is Dublin and the southern part of Ireland, they are actually on the British pound.
Oh, okay.
But Northern Ireland, which is where Belfast is, they are on the euro, I believe still.
Excellent. My daughter used to live in London, so I never looked at the map until now. And so it's good to know where you're at. All right, yeah. So we have some fun pictures and history. I can't wait till you get started here.
Yeah, so I will take a little tour around Ireland first. So this is actually called Giant's Causeway. It's an area on the coast of up in Northern Ireland. Oh, go back to that picture real quick. Yeah, so all those stones there, the ocean and the erosion has created these weird little like stepping stone patterns almost. Those stones are not put there. That's just, the weathering. It's one of those weird natural phenomenons. And the Giant's Causeway, so it was named that because they thought giants created it way back. The Druids and the early Celts thought that it was a walkway, yeah, created by giants. Yeah, so they're just these huge stones that stick up out of the ocean, and you can walk right out on them.
Oh my gosh. And they're almost identical.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like somebody actually did put them there, but it's a natural formation. It's really weird.
Oh, wow.
And beautiful.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of a theme with Ireland, weird and beautiful. So Cliffs of Moher, they are super famous for lots of reasons. That most Americans know anyway is because several movies are actually filmed on the Cliffs of Moher, from Harry Potter to more recent Star Wars movies were filmed a little bit further out on these cliffs. Trying to think what else. Harry Potter, what's the other big one? Lord of the Rings. I always forget that one. Filmed out on the Cliffs of Moher. So another famous Irish backdrop that's near Galway, actually.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
This is more of the Giant's Causeway. So out when the furthest bit of rock that you see, that's kind of the path down to Giant's Causeway. But you can just see, those are sheep hanging out on that. White specks, those are sheep hanging out on the hills. And it's just,
oh my gosh.
It's a wild, natural place. Those sheep probably belong to a farmer, but they are allowed to graze on public lands. The stones that you see at the very top of that, where the sheep are on that side, that is part of a ruin of something. Other side, yeah. Those they look like, it almost looks like a building or two sides of a building. Those are ruins of something, and what they are ruins of, we don't know, but they are walls that were built at one point. Some ancient Celts or ancient Irish people living out right on the cliff.
That is just beautiful. I love how green and everything. So now maybe I didn't put the pictures in order.
No, it's fine. So no, because they're all, all four of those pictures, they're all kind of the same area. Oh, okay. So again, more of Giant's Causeway, and you can actually see even better now just how it looks like somebody fit them together and created a path. But
I think they must have. That must be a true statement, just like Loch Ness Monster, wherever that's at.
That could be. The Irish are a very spiritual people, and they have a lot of, they believe in fairies, and they believe in leprechauns, and they believe in all kinds of things. So it's entirely possible that giants actually did build that.
That is cool.
And you can walk like right up there onto the top of that, and
that is
a lot
beautiful.
of people, I think, forget that Ireland is very coastal. They always see the pictures of the green rolling hills and things like that, but most of Ireland is very coastal, and most of the cities in Ireland, the big cities in Ireland, are coastal cities. A lot of shipping, a lot of manufacturing. We'll get to the most famous ship that ever came out of Ireland in a little bit, but Northern Ireland especially has a long shipbuilding heritage.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So this is Killarney Church. It's now I'm trying to think of the phrase that everybody would know about Killarney, and of course it just escaped my brain, but this is one of the more Anglican looking, I guess, churches in Ireland. It's very Gothic. It's not as, there it is on the inside. You can see all the
gorgeous
stonework and archways.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. We had a question. Is it green everywhere in Ireland?
Yes. No,
oh
it really
gosh.
truly is. They're so, they're, what do you call that? Their latitude and longitude is such that they get a lot of misty, overcast days. It's not necessarily raining, although they do get a lot of rain too. But there's always, well, not always, but there is a general mist in the air most days. And so there, it's very green, very, very green.
Just absolutely very gorgeous. All right.
So this is one of those bucket list places, and it's something that everybody needs to check off their list at some point or another. These are the ruins of Blarney Castle. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because the Blarney Stone is actually housed in that tower ruin there. And legend has it that if you kiss the Blarney Stone, you will be gifted with the gift of gab. You will never want for the correct words in your life. I don't know if that's true, but I know plenty of people, including my grandmother, who actually have kissed the Blarney Stone. It is kind of a treacherous situation. You have to lie down on your back and hang back out over the side of that tower and lean down. You hold on to like 2 railings to kiss it.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Do I want the gift of gab or do I want to be alive? Let's see what choice. That's beautiful.
I don't know. I think it's, it's something everybody's got to do at least once.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This is one of the manor homes in Ireland that it's become increasingly popular for people to actually go and rent these out and stay there instead of staying in hotels. And actually a lot of the families who own these homes kind of preemptively turned them into hotels and beds and breakfasts. So this is one where you can stay. And as you can see, the grounds are just amazing. And I honestly, I just kind of like this picture because it just kind of looked like the house was coming out of the mist and it's
framed very well and with the greenery. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Wow.
So these people are on the road to Kerry, which some people call it the Kerry Ring Road. So it's just this, it's a very narrow, very kind of not for the faint of heart highway byway. 1 lane in each direction. They drive very fast. They drive on the wrong side of the road. But the Kerry Ring Road kind of is one of those picturesque drives that you have to do once in your life. And the reason it's picturesque is because Irish people are actually traveling it like this gentleman is with his donkey cart. With his dog on the back of the donkey, taking whatever is in that basket to sell somewhere. And he is actually, you can see, he looks like he's in like a little chair. He's actually at the front of the little cart that the donkey then pulls.
Wow, that is awesome. And I love these pictures. These are, oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm. That is Kylemore Abbey. So it was actually at one point like the home of monks and nuns and things. Now a hotel, and people can stay there and walk around the grounds, and it's right on the water there, like you can see, and it's just that's actually, like I said, that's become an increasingly popular thing for people to do, is to go and rent homes and manor houses, and we have a few suppliers we work with who do that, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like some of these, you'd think I'm going to go live my Downton Abbey fantasies or whatever, and stay in a 12-bedroom manor house, and it's going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. But some of them are actually really reasonable. And if you've got 12 friends to stay in that 12-bedroom manor, it becomes even more reasonable and more fun. And a lot of people, like I said before, travel to Ireland is very popular with Americans. There's a lot of Irish Americans like myself. They do genealogy tours. You can go back and actually search your family history, find out if your family still has any land or if you have any relatives in the area. And, staying in a real Irish manor house is part of the fun.
It takes the whole charisma and makes the trip even like real. I mean, like if you were there living in, I love it. Now, so you can book genealogy tours, you can book all that. Oh, you're so cool. I just love it. I have some questions for you too, but This is a beautiful, beautiful view here.
Isn't this gorgeous? So this is what I mean when I say I don't think people realize that Ireland is actually very coastal and they have real beaches. I lived in Washington State years ago, and we had beaches that it's almost the same latitude as Ireland and England. Our beaches didn't look like this. Our beaches were very rocky. You wouldn't want to sit on them too long. And I'm not going to say that these are, like California and Florida beaches, but they are sandy beaches. And they are beaches where you can sit and you can swim. There are a lot of coastal towns that their whole business is summer tourism. And people come and swim in the ocean, and they have their little summer cabin getaways, and Galway is a very popular place for that.
Oh, excellent. Now, is it cold water? Is it warmer water?
It's the Atlantic. So it's the Northern Atlantic. So it's a little chilly, but surprisingly, Ireland has a big surf population.
Oh,
so there are places where people surf in Ireland.
I never heard of that. That's beautiful. That's awesome.
Of course, I mean, what would a trip to Ireland be without a trip to the Guinness factory? I mean, it's where Guinness beer was born. It's actually where several whiskeys were born. It's where, Bailey's Irish Cream was born. Guinness has actually done an amazing job in the last few years, especially when they were shut down during COVID, of really ramping up their tourism spots. So you can actually go and take classes on how to pour the perfect pint.
Oh, okay.
You can tour their factory and their storehouse. You can, of course, just enjoy the perfect pint. And they will actually teach you like how to get that perfect bit of foam at the top, because that's their signature and their trademark. They tell you about why it's a pint glass instead of, like we have here. And then their harp, I just learned this the other day, actually, that harp logo that you see, it's also the national symbol for Ireland. However, only Guinness is allowed to have the harp facing in that direction, because their trademark is actually older than the Irish Republic's trademark of that logo.
Very good.
On their money, on their, anything that the government puts out, their government stamp, the harp has to face the other direction. It can't face the same direction as the Guinness harp.
That is awesome. Wow, that's really great. Tradition. And so what we have, I wanted to go back because you have some history. So let's pick a picture of history here. We'll just go back to the castle. So why don't you share with some things? And then I was able to find some real Irish recipes, and we're going to actually watch in less than 2 minutes to how to cook each one. I thought that'd be fun.
It is. Yeah. So St. Patrick's Day, I think a lot of people, recognize it as this fun holiday where everybody drinks green beer and, dresses up in green so you don't get pinched and that kind of thing. I mean, it actually is a religious holiday that dates back like hundreds and hundreds of years. It celebrates the birthday actually of St. Patrick, who is the patron saint of Ireland. He is kind of credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland. And the story is he taught about the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, using the 3-leaf clover. Oh, so you'll see the 3-leaf clover quite a bit in Ireland, as opposed to like the lucky 4-leaf clover. Catholics in the early days of the holiday used the holiday as a holiday to have a good time, because it was in the middle of Lent. So they took a break from like everything that they were trying to abstain from and had this party on St. Patrick's Day. And then as time went on, the Catholic Church kind of shut that down, because that wasn't, they took their fun a little too far. So for a long time, St. Patrick's Day was not a big deal in Ireland. And actually it was Irish people immigrating to the United States who kind of made it a big deal again. And now the largest Irish, quote unquote, St. Patrick's Day parade is in New York City every year. It's not even in Ireland. And up until the mid 20th century, you couldn't even get a Guinness on St. Patrick's Day in Ireland because of local laws that kept pubs closed on St. Patrick's Day. So it has been St. Patrick's Day has been a much bigger deal in the States than it has in Ireland. Although with tourists now coming to Ireland and wanting to see, like, I want to have, you want to have St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, now it's becoming a bigger thing in Ireland. And you're seeing more places offering St. Patrick's Day tours and St. Patrick's Day specials and things like that.
I think that's exciting, just keeping the tradition. I was just thinking, you know, my kid's grandmother, my children's grandmother is Irish. Her last name's Kelly. And
Okay.
so one of my sons has Kelly as his middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just thought of that. It didn't even dawn on me while I'm looking at all this. I thought, oh, wow, they got to check out the genealogy tours.
Yeah. And if you go back to the pictures of the those rocks, Giant's Causeway, that is in Northern Ireland. So it's not in the Republic of Ireland, it's in Northern Ireland. And it's near Belfast, which is the capital of Northern Ireland. I actually have cousins who live in Belfast. I don't think it's way late, so they're probably not watching. Maybe they'll catch it on a repeat, but
get them on the phone.
Exactly. But like I was saying before, you know, it's a coastal area and shipbuilding was a big deal, especially in Belfast. Actually, the Titanic was built in Belfast. Oh my gosh, and now one of the big draws in Belfast is they have a huge Titanic museum. The locks where they built the Titanic are open to the public. You can take a little Segway tour through there, or you can just, you know, do a walking tour and then go into the Titanic Museum and see all kinds of things. But their great tagline in Belfast is Titanic, she was all right when she left here.
Very good. Yeah, she was. It did float out of the harbor. So we know that. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Well, this is just absolutely fabulous and great photos. Now I have a question. I want to get back to a castle house or this thing. If I wanted in the future, if I wanted to rent one of these for a retreat for a lot of friends that I know, family, whatever, how do you start that? Do you handle that?
Yes. So we have we have a couple suppliers that are based in Ireland, and that's all they do is rent out manor homes and help people find their perfect place. People do a lot of weddings, you know, go away destination wedding type thing. Like you said, like a family retreat or a family reunion. It's especially big if you have like a really big Irish family and you're trying to do like a genealogy trace or something like that. People will try and find a home that's near the area their family was from, kind of make it a home base. Birthday celebrations. I have a family actually traveling in June that is doing it for graduation.
Oh, wow.
So there's multiple generations. They're all staying in one house on a seaside cliff overlooking County Clare, so they can hear the ocean and see the water. And it's, you know, we do everything from a house this size, manor house this size, to that bit. I mean, that the company we work with also rents out places like that, like Kylemore Abbey. But they also do cottages too, you know, 2 and 3 and 4 bedroom cottages. So they run the spectrum.
Now, does Ireland have castles in there? And
so they're castles. There's 2 different varieties of castles. There's kind of the Celtic castles, which a lot of those are now unfortunately in ruins just because they're thousands of years old, some of them. And then they have kind of more like the English style castles, which is because they were so heavily influenced and some would say taken over by the English at one point. So like a place like Kylemore Abbey, which was actually a religious home, even though it looks like a castle. That's more, like I said, kind of that English style home. But yeah, inside, very quintessentially Irish. Bagpipers.
I love that. So have you gone back to find any of your ancestors? You said you have some cousins there. Have you gone back or had some time?
I do have a family member who has researched that extensively, because we have several different lines that are going back into Ireland. My cousins who live there are my mother's side. He has done a little bit of research. Then there's some lines on my mother's father's side. I mean, it's everywhere. So I know people in our family have researched it. I have not actually gone back to look, but it's something I think would really be fascinating. And I'd love to, my cousins who live there lived here for a while and I haven't seen them in years. So that's always the thing, is we want to go back and see that.
I absolutely love it. I think it's just a perfect destination place. So we have some fun now. I looked up the soda. We're going to go feasting food the Irish way. Okay. Feasting food. good. So I have a couple of videos that I found. This is soda bread.
Yes, it's so good. I actually just ordered some today because I was
I was so
ordering my
hungry
groceries
right now.
and I went, oh, I can get soda bread. I'm getting soda bread.
So I found a lady who does the 1-minute recipes. I love her. I'm going to actually reach out to her to say, can I use these? Because this, I want to do this video on how to make it. It's very quick and it just mouthwaters. So here we go. Under 2 minutes. I'm so proud of her.
Hi, it's Jana Diatri. Great things are happening in the 1-minute kitchen. No kneading, no rising. Irish soda bread is just a no-brainer and as delicious as bread can be. And these are the ingredients that make the magic. In a bowl, add 2 3/4 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now give it a good stir to combine. Then chill 1/4 cup of butter and cut into small cubes. Then cut it into the dry ingredients until the mixture is crumbly. Next, combine 2 cups of buttermilk with 1 egg and blend. Reserve 2 tablespoons to brush on the loaf, then pour the remainder into the dry ingredients. Now soak a cup of raisins in hot water for about 20 minutes, drain, and add the raisins to the dough and mix to combine. When the dough begins to come together, dust your cutting board with flour and form the dough into a round loaf. A cast iron skillet makes a beautiful crust, so that's what I'm using. Butter the skillet, add the round, and with the reserved buttermilk and egg mixture, brush it right over the top of the loaf. Now score the dough in the traditional Irish soda bread cross about 4 inches long. And finally, sprinkle with some decorative sugar. Then bake at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes or until golden brown, just like this. Let it cool for about 10 minutes and then slice it up, slather with butter and jam,
right till she gets the
and
jam
enjoy
on
your soda bread along with this Irish proverb. Laughter is brightest where food is best.
She's just amazing. And I'll tell you what, yeah. So thank heavens I record this, right? You can go back and you can write the recipe down, but doesn't that look delicious?
It's the best. And I will say she's not wrong about putting, but like a lot of people are like, oh, but why would you put butter on it? Like it's so good plain. And it is good plain. It's very dense. But if you have some real Irish butter, and you can get, Kerrygold is real Irish butter. If you can get some real Irish butter and put that on your soda bread, it's 10 times better. It's so good.
Oh yeah, excellent. So we have one more. This is under 2 minutes still. And this is Irish stew, which is another main thing. So I hope you like Irish stew because I'm hungry right now and I like it. so there you go, Irish beef stew.
Today we are making Irish beef stew. To get started, sprinkle salt over 1 1/4 pounds of beef stew meat. Let the meat sit while you prep the other ingredients. Then pat the meat dry with paper towels. Heat 1/4 cup of olive oil in a large, thick-bottomed pot on medium-high heat. When the oil is hot, carefully add the pieces of meat to the pan. Now work in batches so you don't crowd the pan. If the pan is too crowded, the beef will steam and not brown. Cook until the beef pieces are well browned on one side, then turn them over with tongs to brown them on the other side. Once the beef is browned, remove it to a bowl and start browning another batch of beef. Keep going until you have browned all of the pieces of beef. Then add all of the beef back to the pot and stir in 6 cloves of minced garlic. Cook the garlic with the beef for about 30 seconds. Then add 4 cups of beef broth, 2 cups of water, and 1 cup of Guinness Extra Stout. It's the dark, malty Guinness Stout that will give this stew its Irish flair. Add 1 cup of red wine, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of dried thyme, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and 2 bay leaves. Stir everything together and bring it all to a simmer. Lower the heat, cover, and simmer for 1 hour. While the pot of meat and stock is simmering, melt 2 tablespoons of butter in another pan over medium heat. Add 1 diced onion and 2 cups of chopped carrots. Cook the onions and carrots until the onions are golden, about 15 minutes. Once the onions are golden, set aside until the beef and stock have simmered for 1 hour. Then add the carrots and onions to the stew. Add 3 pounds of peeled, cubed russet potatoes to the stew and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Simmer uncovered until the vegetables and beef are very tender, about 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, discard the bay leaves. Add more salt and pepper to taste and sprinkle with parsley to serve. That's it, our Irish beef stew with Guinness.
And it's even better if you eat it with soda bread.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, this is a real Irish thing that we're doing here, and having fun with it.
It's funny. I was watching that thinking I actually make something kind of similar, but it's more of a pot pie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a shepherd's pie.
Yeah. Oh, shepherd's pie is fantastic. My mom actually makes a really nice shepherd's pie, and my mom makes colcannon, which is a cabbage dish.
Oh, wow. That sounds.
And they're all. I mean, sometimes Irish food gets a bad rep because it's usually all one color, but it's really good. It's really good.
Well, what's good is now we can be bona fide Irish on the day coming up, the big holiday. Let's give out your information, and you need to tell us what extension to push.
I'm extension 3 after that number. But yeah, you can reach us reach me at that number, and then I'm extension 3, huckleberrytravel.com. We try not to make things too complicated. My email is just erin@huckleberrytravel.com.
That's excellent. So, yeah. Radio, you repeat, so it's ERIN.
Oh, that's true.
Huckleberrytravel.com.
It's the Irish Erin, ERIN.
I love it. Thanks so much for being with us. You were absolutely phenomenal. It's so much fun to be with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we catch you next week with a new part of the world we're going to be traveling together with.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Christine.
You bet. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We're going to take a break for a wonderful foundation that makes a positive difference.
Having a child in the hospital is incredibly hard for parents and really difficult for the child too. But seeing a child smile because we were able to add a little bit of happiness and fun to their healthcare journey is an amazing feeling. In fact, it's our passion. Working in the U.S. and overseas, I was sad to see that healthcare-related pain and suffering is universal. So, in 2010, Standish Foundation for Children began work to transform the healthcare experience for children. Today, we work to create new ways to help children and their families make the best of a tough situation.
Our caring and dedicated team is volunteer-led and made up of patients and parents, as well as professionals who are clinicians, educators, and advocates. Our team members have devoted their lives to helping children and are experts in addressing the psychosocial needs of patients and their families. Together with healthcare providers and donors, we work to make the healing process more hopeful and happy.
Our team collaborates with children's hospitals, clinics, and nonprofit organizations in the U.S. and around the world. We also support hospitalized children of U.S. military personnel. We guide in the education of staff and parents, teach child advocacy, offer psychosocial support, and give financial assistance to make the child's healthcare experience as positive as possible.
As healthcare technology continues to evolve, it's important to remember to embrace our common humanity. Fear is present for well checks, emergency room visits, as well as complex care involving surgery, chemotherapy, or organ transplantation. These procedures are scary, and we believe that no child should have to be afraid to go to the hospital or to the doctor's office. We know the research and strategies to minimize pain and suffering, and we know healthcare and healing can be positive. In fact, when children experience healthcare in a positive way, it contributes to their physical and emotional well-being, helping them reach their full potential.
We are honored to have donated over $200,000 in hundreds of volunteer hours to support 40 hospitals and clinics in the U.S. and overseas. Annually, our programs impact over 500,000 children. We need your help.
We need your help.
Now we need your help.
We need your help.
We need your help.
To further transform children's healthcare experiences and to ensure each child and family has access to a positive, hopeful, healing experience.
Excellent. And this is a worldwide organization because it absolutely makes a positive difference with children everywhere. And that's what's really beautiful about it. Since we are talking worldwide Friday night, this is definitely a foundation to look at. And here is the website, standishfoundation.org. Now, what we have is our next guest is our own world traveler. He's been in several places around the world, like 70 countries. But first, we got another quick commercial. All right. So what we're going to have is our world traveler, Andy, coming on up. And seriously, we are having a wonderful night tonight. Andy and his family are in Costa Rica. And here we go. This is exciting. We just had a wonderful time just learning about a couple of wonderful destinations around the world. And with Huckleberry Travel, we're so excited to have Erin with us every week. Right now, we're going to turn to our world traveler. I'm so excited to introduce you to Andy Bowman, and this is your first time coming on. Andy she's been in 70 plus countries around the world, and he brings his family too. And so we're going to learn a little insight how he's able to do this and make it all work. And I do know that we're going to in for a treat with what we're going to cover tonight. And Andy is also a senior analyst for energy companies. So he works remotely by computer. So that's one way he can do it. And he also owns and operates Airbnb, VRBO vacation homes. He has 9 of them. And guess what? Their destination is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, the most beautiful place that in the United States to travel to. And so he has, we're going to do a future episode exactly on how he handles that and manages the children's education and everything, because they're gone about 5 months a year, 5 or 6 months a year. So we're going to learn more about that. And so now I'm going to introduce you, Andy. And Andy, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, what's exciting is we're going to have some great topics we're going to talk about today, but right now you're in Costa Rica.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And briefly about your Airbnb, let's talk about your destinations that you've done. How long have you been doing those vacation homes?
The ones I have, I'd say probably 13 years or so. It kind of it's grown over time. So initially it was just kind of dabbled in it, renting. We have a big event in Coeur d'Alene, the Ironman event, which always required a lot of demand. So people would start renting out their own homes like a week here, during that event. And so I kind of started with that and then kind of grew it into a full-fledged business, I guess. Yeah.
That's exciting, and Coeur d'Alene's absolutely beautiful. And then you bring your family around the world. Now, do you travel 7 months a year or 5 months a year?
I guess on average, I mean, we tend to always leave in the summer because that's when the kids are out of school. So they still go to public school for the most part. So, that's 3 months. And then, with school, we try to manage. So we usually do like a spring break, like a kind of an extended, like 2-3 weeks during spring break, maybe during Thanksgiving holiday, we'll do 2-3 weeks. So I'd say like 4 or 5 months average. It kind of just depends on the year. But we do it every year. We've been doing it for 13 years probably.
That's awesome. What we're going to do, we're going to kick off with some of our content today. We're going to talk about, now you're in Costa Rica right now, right?
Yes, I'm in Tamarindo, Costa Rica.
Okay, excellent. And so just a couple of views of beautiful Costa Rica. So tonight, he and his wife, and I think his oldest daughter, your oldest daughter, learned to scuba dive. So here's some really pretty pictures, and then we'll get into you. But how did you guys get started in scuba diving?
We actually, my wife and I, we kind of, we played with it. We were never certified. So we took a trip about 4 or 5 years ago to Cuba, and there was an opportunity to dive. I mean, I think the rules are a little looser in Cuba, so I don't know that any other place we would have been able to do the dive that we did, or that someone would have allowed us to. But we had an opportunity. Took a dive there. It was just gorgeous and beautiful, and we've always been big ocean lovers, so it was nice to just have that experience. And then we did another short dive in Malta a few years ago, just my wife and I. And then it had always been a goal to get certified. So about a little over a year ago, my wife and I got open water certified, which is like through PADI, which is kind of the international, one of the pretty much the main international certifications. There's a few others, but they're most well known, I'd say. Yeah, and then my wife and I, then we just loved it, and so we got advanced diver certified, and then we want to share that experience with our kids. So then my daughter is certified. William, my son, he's right on the, he has to be 12 to be PADI certified. He's 11, so he just does like a discovery dive, which just limits the depth that he can go to, and usually they have to do little fundamentals in a swimming pool. At first, but he's done probably like 8 dives like that now, so he gets to kind of skip the pool part and just go to the ocean. But he still has to, for safety, stay at a certain depth.
So this picture, your beautiful wife Lindsay, we have Adelaide and William, and so you're in Costa Rica. This was just recently, right?
Yeah, this is in Cocoa Beach, Costa Rica. So it's just a little farther north of where I am now. It's the bay is called Papaya. I can never pronounce it. Papayago or something like that. It's a real pretty bay. Lots of marine life.
Excellent. And Adelaide's how old?
She's 15.
15.
She'll be 16 soon. Yeah.
So where is she at in the level of diving?
She's open water certified. So, and I'd have to check I don't remember exactly, but it pretty much limits each certification. It kind of extends your depth that you can go to. So at her level, she can go to a certain depth. I don't remember exactly what that is. And there's certain rules you have to dive still with. I mean, she could dive. I mean, you should always dive with a buddy. So, but technically, she could dive on her own.
And then here's some other pictures of. Now this is of course in the same bay, but did you have other families with you?
Yeah, so on the boat we had there's just other people. Yeah, so it's just a dive boat. I can't remember how many people it holds, but there's just groups, and you kind of go out in the morning about 8 o'clock and do a few dives. We did 2, one at one location. It's about a 30-40 minute dive. I tend to run out of air really quick, so we always have to kind of come up because I'm out of air.
You just breathe heavier or something, or what is it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, you really like it comes with practice. Like people can kind of practice their breathing and I tend to like just breathe heavy, I think.
Now,
So it's not something I've practiced on, but
are these kids all over 12 or 12 and over?
yeah, actually these are my niece and my nephew. So
I didn't know that.
And then my brother, that's Devin, my brother over on the right
That's
there.
Devin? No way.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. And that's his kids. Well, they've really grown up.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, they were under 12. They did like what William does, was they call a discovery dive. But it's still a lot of fun. I mean, there's no real, I mean, really, I think a lot of diving, like if you just want to see marine life, you can do that. And in most shallow depths, shallow being like 20 feet or something, 30.
Well, I guess I should mention you're my son and Devin is your half brother. So that's exciting that I didn't know that was them. I didn't recognize them over there because it's been a few years. So exciting. So here's Adam or William and Adelaide in Costa Rica, just kind of relaxing after that. But what I have some pictures from your Facebook page that has some film actually. And so what I want to do is get that up because we have some really great shots I want to show from here. Let me just go ahead and open that up. I think it's excellent what you're doing with your kids. Absolutely excellent. And I just love, because they're my grandkids and I know they have the best dad ever helping them get certified in life, literally. So here is this one video. Where is this one at? You said it's like the Bay of Pigs or something?
Yeah, this was in Cuba, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this was a few years ago. So this is when Lindsay and I kind of did our first dive experience.
Oh, wow. So is that you two together, or is one of you with the certified trainer?
That's Lindsay with the instructor, right? She was her first experience. She was just a little nervous, like most people would be. So it was kind of just giving her some permission to kind of guide her through the experience. So but that area, so the Bay of Pigs, a lot of people are familiar with that just for historical references, but they use that bay for, I think there's like an international underwater photo contest that they do there often because the water is so clear.
Okay.
So like that clarity right now you're looking at is phenomenal. Like you can see forever, which is unique. You don't always get it.
I'm waiting for Ariel to come out.
Yeah, unfortunately my that's like a cheap GoPro, so it's not the best film, but that clarity is really good. So
well, what I'm going to do, we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit because you dive, but you also surf. And here's a surfing school that you went to. Do you want to talk a little bit about it before we see this commercial that you were in this school?
Yeah, sure. This is a local guy here in Tamarindo, Surf Every Day Academy. He's awesome. I think he's like the #1 rated in Tamarindo. Like if you go to his Google stars or whatever, which is actually kind of how I found him. He doesn't really have like a business front or anything like that. He's just this guy that's super passionate about surfing, a really good instructor, does a real good like one-on-one approach with you. So anyways, this video is for he does these morning like workout routines it's a Brazilian workout. It's called Ginástica Natural, I believe, and there's some yoga components, some like Pilates type things you'll see, but it's designed for surfers and positions they would be in and
so both of you are in this, is that right?
Yeah, so it would show up in the morning to do this workout like 7 a.m. It was like awesome way to start the day, and he was doing this film, so we happened to be.
And a beautiful blonde, short-haired blonde is your wife, so she looks really good in here. So here we go. Wow, that's absolutely cool, Andy. I love it.
That's cool. You did a good job.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks so much. What we're going to do, we're going to go into our next phase. So that was so much fun. I just want to like jump in or something, it's just how it is. So what we're going to do
today.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get back. I have some slides to show first, and then we'll get back into, we're going to now go into Nepal. Tell us a little bit about Nepal.
I mean, I guess I wasn't there for a long period of time. I think for like a week. So I mean, there's so much more. Like a lot of the attractions in Nepal, you really gotta take some time because they're the remote destinations, and I went really just I had the opportunity. I was going to India. I kind of went through it. Anyways, I mean, Nepal is, I think, both well known for being the home of Everest, Mount Everest. So, but it's also got a really unique community, really unique. It's just a unique place. Like, just the people are unique. The culture is very unique. Yeah, so I mean that's where I would start. But
is it a cross between Chinese and Indian people? Because it's right in the middle. It just makes sense that it would have those cultures.
Yeah, I mean, China's like, I mean, it's hard. Like, I don't know a ton of the history, right? So, but China is a huge country, so you're not going to find like, I mean, on western parts, southern parts of China, in these regions, like in these mountain regions, you're going to find a completely different culture than you're going to find in like the southeast portion, or the northeast portion. So, I mean, it's just like the United States. I mean, you got a lot of these cultures have been around. So I wouldn't even say they're anything. I think the religion is mostly Buddhist. So that kind of impacts some of their culture.
Now, if I put this arrow where you were at, would it be up here in the middle? Kind of
No, so I was in the capital, just there at Kathmandu, which is the big red box.
Right here, so, Kathmandu. So you were right there. Okay. Well, we're going to see some pictures here real quick. Here's another overview. Just pictures that I saw. I don't know where this is, but they said they were in Nepal. So I have your Facebook page that has pictures of that you actually took. It's just a beautiful area. Every place is beautiful, actually. So here you go. Now here's the first of the many. And now is this Nepal or is this from another place? Because your Facebook is just loaded with different countries. So I know the next picture was in Nepal because you said so.
Yeah, this one actually is in India, this picture right here.
Okay,
but real close.
Okay.
So,
so now this is where you start Kathmandu.
That's in Nepal. Yeah, that's in Kathmandu.
Now, what are they doing here?
They are burning bodies. So those are people. Cremation is a big part of their religion. So, and I think that's a Hindu thing, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But could be wrong. So these are, gosh, I think they call them bats or something like that, in like BHAT. And it's an area where people go and they start big fires, and then they cremate the dead, and and then they mourn. And I kind of had to be careful taking these pictures. I think like that. That's not really a body, I guess I'd say, in that flame. That's like in preparation for one.
Right,
so
right.
You want to be sensitive to people in time of grieving. So it's really, not cool.
It's sacred. Yeah, it's sacred.
Yeah. So we had a guide that kind of took us, and I kind of took a picture of the area to show what it looked like. But
well, and it's interesting to study the cultures. It's just good to understand people more and where they, how they live and where they come. Now, this is a Hindu temple in Ghat. That's what you were saying, GHAT. That's what you wrote. So this is preparing for another funeral.
Yep. So that's a big, and their funerals are they really do a lot to it's a long process. I think there's like several days, a lot of attention given to the person that's passing. So it's a beautiful thing, really. I mean,
yeah, I can imagine. I think there's something with like the Indian where the spirit goes in the air or something, or whatever. I'd like to study it a little bit more to understand and appreciate. Now here's your daughter Zoe, my granddaughter, and so she was able to come with you. That's really cool. Do you know what the markings mean on the foreheads?
Not really. Like it's I mean, they do it. We went to a temple, and it's something that they do. I think it's kind of a tourist thing, like tourists will pay a couple bucks if you put this stuff on them. They do that though in their own decoration, right? Like, I know, like I know. I don't want to like say something that's not right, because I'm not. A lot of this is religious, and I don't know the specifics.
Oh,
so
okay.
I wouldn't want to say it's like this religion and it's not.
Okay, that's
So,
okay.
but you see that in we were at a temple. I think it was a Buddhist temple, and there was right there, and somebody was doing that. But this is also kind of an area of tourists, so it's an Instagram moment, So.
Well, that's awesome. Again, I love the fact the pictures are right there. That's why I grabbed him, and I thought, this would be great for interest study for anybody wanting to plan to go over. At least some of the activities, the tourists. And there's of course Lindsay. And
yeah, they definitely. I mean, that area is definitely kind of it can be. And people who go to Nepal, you don't really go there if you're just on a 1-week vacation. Like that's probably not going to be your destination of choice. Like. If you want to get out and just, hang out, you need to wake off from work, you want to go to the beach or like, kind of get pampered. Nepal's, it's a third world type country. There's a lot of poverty. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's really an adventure. The big attraction is culture. There's a lot of adventure there, mountain climbing. Treks that people do. There's these awesome, like besides Everest, there's these huge long treks that people do, and so it's
this was actually from a recent earthquake that they had. I
mean, it's not so recent. I think it was. I'm gonna say it was probably 5-6 years ago at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember even when I was there, which now I'd have to count the years. It's been probably 3-4 years. It had been, but yeah, there's still a lot of devastation from it. Like it's still there. The buildings have been knocked down and they haven't really been picked up, right? They're still there.
I bet the people are just phenomenal. Is there very few that speak English, or do more speak English in the city?
More in the city, I think, and you find this kind of everywhere in the world. Like, that's a big question that always comes up. But like, do you ever have do you speak the language? And I don't speak any other language. I mean, I can say hi in probably like 6 languages, and I can say rough things, please, thank you. You learn courtesies. But we're fortunate being English speakers, and that most people, if they are involved in any sort of tourism related activity, they probably speak 5 languages.
Oh, so, I see.
You'll see people, I've seen, if they're work at a hotel, or if they're a merchant and like sell goods to tourists, or that's part of their business, they probably can speak 5-6 languages. I've seen people that,
What is this gentleman doing?
He's a potter. So like that's his pottery wheel. He's spinning it with a stick, and then just kind of spins the wheel, and then makes that. In the middle there is a lump of clay that he's sculpting.
Oh, yeah. But that's how he does it. Okay. That is so cool. And then I think, are there several potters, or did he do all these?
I'm sure he didn't do all of them. So, but yeah, that's a big trade there. Is we were kind of touring through this village, and I think that was one of their big trades for that village was pots, which they use them actually for just about everything. Like you buy, they're just kind of disposable. So I remember that, like you go and you buy like a yogurt. They have the it's a lassi, I think is how you pronounce it, and it's a yogurt type food. and it'll be like in little clay pots, even if you buy it at the store and you just take it with you. And then people just like throw them in the street. Like it's clay, so it just kind of breaks apart back into mud. It's like super environmentally friendly.
Oh, well, that's excellent. That's interesting. Now, are visitors accepted pretty well?
Yeah, I think that's one of their big industries actually in Nepal is tourism. A lot of people go there for mountain climbing and trekking, so it's a big part of their economy. So
excellent. Okay, and then this was a particular temple.
And I can't say I remember. It's funny. I always, before one of these trips, I always do a ton of research because I kind of plan it myself, and I know everything about it. And then, years go by and you kind of forget the details.
Yeah. But look at the designs though, and each one has a symbolic meaning. It's interesting to learn about that. And then we have,
these are some old temples. This is in the city of Kathmandu. So Kathmandu is a big city with a lot of people, but then you still have kind of these UNESCO area. I think they're UNESCO World Heritage Sites, so they're protected. And the earthquake did a lot of damage, but they have funding available, so they're rebuilding and repairing a lot of them.
When you look at this column right here, look at the detail of the work. Oh my heavens, it's beautiful. Yeah. So that, do you plan to return?
Oh, I'd love to. This was kind of like when I went this trip, it was kind of like just a little opportunity. Like I said, we were really heading to India and we had an opportunity to kind of stop over and stay for a period. So we just took it, and it was kind of designed to be a quick overview. But I'd really like to go back and do a few of the treks that they have, because there's some pretty cool trekking.
Yeah, I just love the architecture. That's beautiful. So you said it's wood carvings.
Yeah, that's wood. That's wood.
Post. It was the Kama Sutra architecture.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
yeah, Kama Sutra. It might not be the best for your audience. Like it's kind of erotic, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what's going on, and then it's just other pictures from Kathmandu. Look at that little girl. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting. Nepal stood out really in one way, in that a lot of times when you go to kind of a more of an impoverished country with it's a big culture shock, especially as an American coming from where we come from. There's a lot of poverty, and it's hard to know how to deal with it, and in some places in the world, especially in tourist areas, it can be uncomfortable because it feels like people, there's certain things that they do, like they don't have sticker prices on things. For example, you go to buy something, you're expected to negotiate, right? And they know that you have more money than the local guy, so they're going to try to get more money out of you. It's
right.
So that makes people uncomfortable, like, because it's people who haven't experienced that. And sometimes you'll get kind of there'll be like a little bit more aggressive sales tactics than what you might be accustomed to. Like walking into a store in the US, people just kind of say, "Do you need any help?" You say no, they leave you alone. You go to some places, that's not the case, right? They'll kind of really try to get you to buy something,
Now on these two little
Nepal's not like that, though. The Nepal was, I guess my point being is Nepal was very much not like that.
Oh wow, that's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's really comfortable. So there's a lasting impression, I guess, with some new friends you met there. On these little carts, are they take you anywhere? And
yeah, they're like little tuk-tuk type things. Yeah, so they just, someone bicycles you around, takes you around town if you want. Yeah, these were, you kind of find this a lot, actually. You'll go places, and these were like some local girls that wanted a picture, and you'll start seeing that in the area. They'll want their picture taken with you. I've seen that in a couple places. People want their picture taken with like a Westerner, I guess.
Oh, that is excellent. These are prayer wheels.
Yep. Yeah, it's a prayer wheel. This is a Buddhist thing. So you find those in like I think they call that a stupa. And they're around it. There's like you walk around it in a certain direction, and you spin these prayer wheels, and it's kind of it's meant to like kind of be meditative, get you into a state of mind.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, beautiful colors too that you have. Just beautiful colors. And that's a stupa, as you mentioned, where they walk around this. You know, it would be meditating. And then here's her granddaughter, my granddaughter, Zoe. And look at that wood carving. That is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So and you're where?
This was in Kathmandu.
Oh, Kathmandu.
Just at a shop, yeah.
Oh, okay. So they have all their different drinks.
This was like we went there specifically because they serve this traditional beer, I think is what it is. It didn't taste like normal beer. It's hot, and it's like these seeds they put in it. So it's like a fermented seed. It kind of looks like mustard seeds. They put that in it first, and then they pour hot water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you drink it, and it kind of tastes a little bit like gosh, I can't think of the drink now. If it comes to me, I'll bring it up. I can't think of it. Kombucha. It tastes a little bit like kombucha. It has kind of a fermented flavor like that.
Okay, excellent. That is excellent. Well, what I want to do is we have some more slides, but we're pretty much nearing the end of this portion. I'm just so thankful for you sharing your part of your trip and your life with us. This is Andy up here in the middle. Andy, this is where he was then. I have 4 children. This is in Idaho. We were snowboarding, and they all grew up on me. So here's Andy, and then there's Mike. We're gonna have them. They're all travelers. They all have they've been all over the world, literally. And so we'll have them from time to time in our travelers part. And I sure appreciate your time here, Andy, so very much. So with that, what I want to do is just pretty much just say thank you so much for being with us today. And or tonight, we're recording this earlier, so I'll be playing this live when it's dark, so everything's light. But I'm excited for next week. So what we can talk about, because you've been in 70+ countries, so that'll take us a few weeks to get through all of that. Again, thank you, and hope you guys stay safe. Sure do appreciate all that you do to add to our program. Okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
You too. You bet. Bye.
Bye.
Excellent. I just want to say it is so much fun when we have incredible people making a positive difference when it comes to the world of travel and what to do when you're on travel. So I can't say thank you enough, Andy. Thank you enough, Erin, for being with us tonight and giving us a good splurge for all the way from the luck of the Irish in Ireland, especially because it's March, and the Costa Ricas and scuba diving and surfing and Nepal. So what fun. With 9atNight, we're here every weekday night, Monday through Friday. It's all about the business. It's all about the drive. It's all about the talent. It's all about the money, and it's all about the fun. So a different topic every night. And I'll tell you, it's well worth the watch. We have a lot of fun with that. So I can't say enough. The best way to get to it is just the number 9atnight.com, just 9atnight.com. And that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, pretty much there. So right now, I just want to say thanks so much for being with us. It was so much fun to be with you. I absolutely love exploring the world right from my comfort area until we find out more about traveling and the safety of it, especially with COVID just kind of getting over and everything. So this is really exciting. I've already got trips planned just from this. And thanks to Huckleberry Travel with Erin. And we're just here to have fun. So we'll see you next week, and it's all about the fun. And thanks again for joining us. You're absolutely amazing. We sure appreciate you.